Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of ADHD and Crochet. I'm actually doing this in an afternoon recording, but we are continuing Turtle Mania. So we'll see how far we get. We have this guy to finish, and then we have a little one to get started on. We are going to start right back here. I'm going to go ahead and take this pin out in the back here. And we, of course, just like last time, are going to go for these bottom loops here versus the top ones. So we just go through the body and through the shell. I am going to kind of stretch this out a little bit so we can get a little more of a sandwich effect here. Now, if you guys are tired of Turtle Mania, I'm sorry, I do have some palette cleansers planned for after I get done with all the turtles. But I am going to finish with all the turtles first. If you're enjoying the turtles, great. You can comment which one is your favorite so far. If you have any suggestions on things I should work on in the future, I will at least look at them. I have been making additional projects and things like that, but I have continued using the black and this stained glass look for the other projects that I've had. Again, mostly just trying to get rid of and use up this rainbow yarn, but some of the projects have turned out just really fun and cute. So you can definitely look forward to more projects, including that later on. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I am recording this in the afternoon instead of the morning, and I still live in Arizona at the moment. Maybe not by the time this video comes out. Maybe then. Who knows? But I have a milkshake and a fan, and I'm stressed and wanted to do something fun. And I've begun to find this kind of fun. Alright. One more stitch on this leg here. You may have also noticed, or maybe you didn't, who knows. Everyone's brains work a little differently. But you may have noticed that my background cloth has changed as well. I am using a different one than last time. Mostly because the one I used last time is being used currently. So this one is actually used as a throw blanket for a couch I made my cats. Yes, they're that spoiled. But when you get to make things yourself, of course your animals are going to be very spoiled. The for this, we are just going through both parts of the shell once more, using those back loops only. Try not to split your yarn. Didn't really work, but it's okay. I was looking through my patterns today to see what things I haven't done yet, what things I felt like doing, and so on. And I found one that I was like, oh, I want to do this one. It's a doll of some sort. It's like a jester clown thing. So I was looking at it and I was like, oh, I can definitely try and do this in the dark rainbow. That would be cool. That's like a spooky jester thing since Halloween stuff is coming up soon. Why not? But then I looked at the size that it said it would turn out, which is like 10 inches tall, and that's using the recommended yarn size, which is quite a bit smaller than this. So I would have had a life-sized doll, and that would have not been good for the move. So I put that one on the back burner. I do have the recommended sized yarn. So I will definitely be doing that later. Just not now. I learned recently that syrup for pancakes or soda or whatever you feel like is actually very easy to make. A bunch of sugar, some water, and whatever flavoring you want, whether it be a fruit flavor or some spices. Just boil the sugar and water together for a little bit till it gets thicker. And then you sometimes are boiling the flavoring in at the same time. Sometimes it's added after. Sometimes it's a mix if it's a more complicated one. It's actually pretty fun. And that's what my milkshake is made with. Well, it's actually a float, like a root beer float, but I did not use root beer. I used a homemade syrup that vaguely tastes similar to a cherry Dr. Pepper. Pretty good. I was attempting to make Dr. Pepper syrup, but there is not a true copycat recipe out there yet. I'm playing with what I have to try and get close. But it's been fun. The recipes I have so far make a lot of syrup too, because you don't need that much for the actual drinks. We've been having a lot of soda lately. I've also just been straight up putting the syrup on ice cream, vanilla ice cream. If you add in a juice and just make a cocktail, it's fine. Now, obviously, the syrup can be added to many different things, depending on what you're wanting. My family loves soda, so trying to do a cheaper option of make it myself. Has not gone too poorly so far. it doesn't take a lot of ingredients to make, and not a lot of quantity of ingredients when you do make it. Just grabbed onto my microphone, sorry about that. Alright, we've made it to the head. Readjust position here. Move that string over there. And attach. I just feel like I'm doing surgery on these. Have to very carefully do the sutures. Don't want to pull too hard or you'll break your string. Remove the excess equipment as you no longer need it. And in 7 to 10 business days, he'll be ready to go. Oh. String has got a mind of its own today. And then we are back to the point where we should be over the edge here. Going to keep going, turn him slightly. Get a cooling sip. One more stitch and we'll be at the yarn. I'm going to tug on this a little bit, make it just a little bit more taut on the body. There we go. Not sure if you can hear any background noise, but if you can, don't mind them. All right. We announce our packages in this house. More fun that way. How many stitches did I not attach? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have my hair in the way. Always trying to add a part of myself, I guess. One, two, 3, 4, And now we're going to grab onto this lower shell here. Line this up as much as possible. And there we go. And there we go. How many stitches do I need to keep free? Let's see, 1, 2, about 4. We need to not attach 4 stitches at the end here. Snagged it on accident. Happens sometimes. You may have also noticed that my pin box is rather empty after it being rather full last time. It's because I have a few projects that required many of them. This is another reason for me to film today so that I can get some of my pins back, maybe. This has only been taking about 20 minutes, so I should have enough time to get at least 5 pins back from the other turtle. I don't know what happened, but there's apparently chaos going on in my living room. The joys of packing and unpacking. And here we are, we're getting close. Still have a few more. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so yeah, we've got a little bit. Always. I try to get these to be even on each side. It does not always work. I try my best. I believe last time my husband had brought me a scorpion in a cup. I decided to keep that scorpion. Found out it is a female. She is in a jar currently with some dirt, some wood to hide under, and a stick to crawl around on and hide under, some rocks. And I don't know if it's a chicken bone or a dove bone because we had some casualties in my backyard several months ago. But she has a bone in there too for entertainment purposes of my own. But she won't live there forever. What? Just during the move, because a larger pickle jar is easier to move and carry in a car than a terrarium. But once we move, I will be setting her up in a nicer terrarium that has a heating pad, a water source. She's going to go from being in the wild to living it up. Now I also have a bunch of crickets in a carrier as well. Because girly gotta eat. I don't like Arizona, but I do like scorpions. They're pretty cool. I won't hold them. Same with spiders. But they are neat. I just realized I still have the underside of the shell to attach to the body, and this has taken almost half our time to just do the top. So we may only get through the stained glass turtle and still have yet another episode or two of just turtles. If you can't tell, I want to get through these as much as the next person. But alas, I made them. This is the bed I made, and I must lie in it. But it's okay. It's fun. At least they're cute. Did I know that August would be Turtle Month? No. Have I found that out unwillingly? Yes. Congratulations. It is Turtle Month. Alright, so we have made it back to where we started on this top shell, so we're going to make our little knot. Hide our string just right up in here. Snip, snip. And now we get to flip him over and do the other side. This side will take a little less time because we only have to do the underside, the bottom part and the top part, but we still have to do it. All right. Now, as you can see, using black has its disadvantages as it likes to collect all the cat fur. Oh, maybe I'm just gonna stir my milkshake a little bit. I hope it bothers someone that I'm calling a float of a soda float a milkshake. It at least looks like a milkshake. It was more pink when I started, then more of the ice cream melted. Just slowly sliding across the table here. Now, I know I'm a very small channel, but I have noticed that every week I get a few more views than the week prior, and I just want to thank you guys for that. I don't know if you guys are sharing it with friends or just rewatching things, but I do have a few subscribers now, and I really appreciate you guys for that. I think it's fun to be able to share your hobby with people and for them to enjoy it. And by the end of today, I will have this cute little turtle. Turning him clearly I don't use my left hand enough. You have vacuuming going on in the background. We've reached where we don't connect. We will just stitch through these. Oh, this one actually matches the color. That doesn't happen very often. Kind of fun when it does. And then we're going to just pass the string through the inside of the shell here. So we have this little pocket, really. I don't think I need that pin. More. And that is a little intro into my monologue when I'm actually crocheting these things, because it's just me counting quietly to myself. A post of something somewhere, I don't know where or who it was, but it was wizards and magic and crocheting or knitting aren't very different. You sit there and mumble to yourself for hours, meddling with something, and then all of a sudden you have a thing at the end. Nobody knows how you did it. Now, I do promise after this turtle there will only be one more turtle, and then after that I will refrain from doing turtles for a while. Like I said, I have a palette cleanser planned, a couple of them, and we will probably start getting into some fall themed stuff or just Halloween themed stuff, because Halloween is my favorite holiday. It is the holiday of creativity. You just also get to be spooky with it. One time a year I feel like my goth joy is allowed. I do more decorating for Halloween than I do for Christmas. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Christmas, but I love Halloween. We get to dress up, there's candy. I have a literal elk skeleton I get to put out, and it won't be weird. Real bones, by the way. It's pretty cool. We went and found them in the woods. All important sip. Right. We are now almost 3/4 of the way there on the bottom here. Now I do plan on changing my setup a little bit when I do move. So I plan on using a desk instead of a table, so that'll be kind of nice. I'll have a lighter backdrop. So I may still need to use the cloth now and then. One more stitch. Plan on actually designating an office space for myself. I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Finding a place to rent is ridiculous. You have to pay to apply for a house. It just feels very much like a scam. Like, why? You're already gonna take my money. Do I have to pay you to reject me? I understand people need to get paid. It's just annoying when moving itself is already expensive. The moving company that packs your stuff for you and drives it to where you're going um, gave me a quote of like almost $9,000. I don't have that kind of money. We also looked at other moving options, and others were either quite a bit higher, but we did find one lower. We have to pack the boxes ourselves, obviously, and then they'll just drive all the stuff there for us so we don't have to worry about it. Sometimes that little peace of mind is the important part. Alright, we are at the end here for this one. Now, in order to contain Turtle Mania as much as possible, I will film the whole hour, or the whole normal 55 plus. But Turtle Mania is probably going to go on for at least one more episode after this. I am going to do my best, but I can make no guarantees on it. I find it interesting that a lot of rental houses where we're looking don't include a washer, dryer, refrigerator, or microwave in the homes. The only thing they really include is a dishwasher, which is nice. I like dishwashers, and a stove and oven, um, which I use, but I also use a microwave and a refrigerator. So that's an interesting thing I've learned. My current house included at least the all the kitchen stuff. It just didn't include the laundry room stuff. Essentially, gave us hookups, but not the actual unit. And snip, snip. And now we're done with this turtle. And we are also done using the larger sized tapestry needle. Here is our completed turtle. Stained glass little buddy. Very cute. Alright, now the next one is mostly green, so I'm going to get rid of our mat as well. Because this main piece is definitely the same color as the mat. This is the top shell. It is a mess, but we will get there when we get there. We're going to start with this little pin cushion, as he currently is. So this one I went for ever so slightly more realistic colors. You can argue that when we get to the shell, but for the body at least, a nice olive green here. Now I have to be very careful because he is very small. And these pins do not like me. So we are just going to work around as much as possible before I remove the pin, just because I want to keep this little corner where it's at. So we're going to readjust that pin actually. I try really hard not to poke ourselves. Now, it has been a little while since I've worked with this teeny tiny yarn. I got a break with the other turtles and the following projects. So this might go faster. It is essentially the same number of stitches, just on a smaller smaller stuffed animal. I should have removed the mouth. I did not think about that. There we go. Now I can see what I'm doing. Now I only have one pin to look out for instead of two. I probably don't need this pin here anymore, so we're going to go ahead and put that in the box. And just keep carefully working around to avoid that little snag there. Just a little bit of shaping there to make that look a little more seamless. Even though I'm literally creating the seam. And we make our little knot. Hide the strings. And snip. And then we're going to hide this smaller one as well. Ouch. Poked myself. Got poked. There we go. Got it threaded. Pull it through. And this side is done. I'll find the string for the other side. I think it's this one. No. Over there, lest you get lost. I am surprised the cats are behaving. Their feeding time is in the next like hour and a half, and they usually come bother me for 2 hours. So while I am grateful, I am surprised. In your lane, string. Once again, we're just going to move this one over here and then have to be very careful where I place my fingers. We should at least get the face done today. I don't know about the flippers, but we will try. Sometimes that's all you can do. All right. Probably don't need this anymore. I know where he's supposed to go. That extra string down here. Ouch. Poked myself again. These little ones are more dangerous than the big ones. And stick out more. You have less surface area to grab onto. Keep yourself from poking yourself. And we're just going to tighten this area up. Better. That one worked a lot faster than the other one. We're going to make our little knot. Once again, hide our string. And now the face is a little safer for me to hold. Now we just gotta hide the small string. Go right in there. Woo! Freed. That's better. There we go. Pull through. Oh, this one was a little longer. Nip off the excess. And now we have the eyelids on. Kind of adjust those a little bit. Good. Very good. Alright, so let's add on the mouth now. Figure out which way gets oriented where. Goes like this. Right. This one can be done a little more safely. Pins go inside the body, or at least they point inside the body. This one should be a little easier. Just following the line. And the old lady has decided to join. Spring really wants to grab that one. And think I've learned from all of this that the turtle pattern takes way longer to sew it together than it does to actually make the parts, which is kind of funny. And this may be the last turtle you guys see on this video, but last turtle project that I sew for you guys for a while. At least of this specific pattern, I have like pie turtles. And those are pretty cute. I don't think they take this long. They are less detailed. I don't even know if any of them are. I don't remember if any of them need to be sewn actually. So there's that. This really may just be the last turtle you guys see on this channel. Again, not in this video. This video is not the last turtle you will see, but this turtle is the last turtle you'll see on this channel probably. Alright, let's hide that little string back here. Pull through, and the face is done. Now we just gotta untangle these strings, work on the flipper. We're gonna work on this one. The string I got free first. Make sure everything is lined up. Looks like it. Grab the wrong one. Ever so slowly, I am reclaiming my sewing pins. So we'll go ahead and finish this flipper up this video. We will do the rest of them next video for sure. And for sure, the shell tiles. There are more shell tiles on this turtle than there were on the stained glass turtle that we just finished at this, that took up most of this video. So do expect there to be 2 more Turtle Mania videos after this. The next one being where I sew the rest of the limbs on this guy and the shell tiles, and then the one after that, shell to the body. But after we get this turtle done, I promise there will be non-turtle things that we will do. This is not a turtle channel. I like turtles, but not that much. I only made 3 of them, but it feels like I've made like 40. Alright, we are getting to the last couple stitches here. So if you liked the video, please like the video. If you want more Turtle Mania, go ahead and subscribe because we have more coming up, I promise. But if you also want just to subscribe in general for general content, we'll get to that eventually. But thank you for watching. We're going to go ahead and hide our string here. Snip, snip. And call her a day. See you guys next time.